Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
Sphere Exclusives. Looking for exclusive content from your favorite podcasts here at the Sphere? Head over to sphere.tv/Patreon and sign up today. True Digital Media Consulting. You're online right now and so are your customers, but marketing has to be a consistent journey. True Digital Media Consulting can help with your online ads, organic growth, and so much more. Contact us today at 832-934-4436 or visit our website at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com.
KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement.
What's up, people? Welcome back to Technocrats, where we talk about the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. I'm your host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. And I'm sitting with the illustrious, the tangible, the one and only Ari McKinney. What up, Ari?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fine. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing great.
Good to see you in studio.
I know, it's been forever.
It has. I'm loving your glasses. They're just popping
Thank
today.
you.
Popping off these white LEDs. White and amber LEDs.
Appreciate it.
What's good?
You know, everything.
How's life?
Life
in your tech lane?
Life in the tech lane is good. You know, I'm starting to look for some smart stuff for the house. Shopping.
Oh,
you know,
that's what's up.
It's always fun.
Yeah, and for those that are tuned in, if y'all want to find out about some great smart gadgets, we did an exclusive episode right for our Patreon family. So make sure y'all hop on our Patreon side of things. Shout out to Monique; she's already in the building on Patreon, or on a Discord server rather. But definitely hop over there if you're looking for some smart home tips, tricks, and ideas. But we've got an action-packed show for you today. We got a lot of stuff hopping off. We're going to talk Tesla's competitor. We're going to talk about cannabis and technology. We're talking about these new folding phones that are coming down the pipe. We may even get to some Fortnite conversation. But let's kick things off with our digital trends. What up? So this week's digital trend starts off with a Volvo standalone company by the name of Polestar. They've got a rival to the illustrious, the fast and cute little scurrying little electric vehicle known as the Tesla Model 3. Ari, walk us into this situation.
Yes, so Volvo has a standalone electric performance brand that they have branded Polestar, and it is set to rival the performance version of the Model 3 because there is a non-performance version, but we're gonna, for the sake of this article, be referring strictly to the performance version of the Model 3. So let's talk about some of the similarities and the differences. So the Polestar is a 5-door fastback. It's got 2 electric motors, 78 kilowatts an hour battery, and a range of 275 miles with 408 horsepower, and it'll go from 0 to 62 in less than 5 seconds.
Sounds better than most people's cars already.
For sure. And it'll cost you about $68K, which is about 10 grand less than the Tesla Model 3. Whereas the Model 3, you know, it's got 450 horsepower, a bit longer range of 301 miles, dual motors also, and that one goes from 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. So very similar, but, you know, a bit cheaper. Like the Tesla, well, this one's going to be no dealership. So it's they have what they're calling Polestar Spaces, which is essentially, you know, you can order it online. They are going to go with a subscription-based model for the car, and they are going to have these spaces where you can go and test drive them. They're going to be in 60 different locations all over the world. couple, like one in Oslo, one in Shanghai, one in LA, and there's going to be some other United States-based locations as well.
So a couple of things that really excite me. First and foremost, we're talking about a vehicle that is electric, right? So for those that are out there, and actually I want to poll Facebook while we've got them up right now. Facebook audience, for those that are tuned in, Mo, we see you up there. Are you ready to roll over to an electric vehicle? Yes, yep or pepper, or no, not so much? Let us know on Facebook if y'all feel like y'all are ready to hop on the electric vehicle bandwagon as we're discussing this. But specifically speaking, I'm excited, one, for the competition, right? So you've got a competitor vehicle, which means eventually prices will continue to drop.
Right.
Two, it's got great range. You know, once you get over 200 miles to the charge, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
You're good, right?
Yep.
You're not thinking about range anxiety and things like that.
Right.
Three, you mentioned subscription-based model.
Yes.
So that's something different.
Very interesting.
And we've kind of played around with that. We've talked a little bit here. For those that are tuned in, you're listening to this right now in your car. On Spotify or SoundCloud, we've had conversations about companies moving to subscription-based models. How do you feel about this company saying, you know what, we're not going to sell the vehicle, but subscription-wise?
You know, I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around a little bit because we've been on this. You buy a car, you lease a car, and eventually, I mean, with unless you're leasing it and you want to do that whole trade it in after a while and get something newer, we generally buy cars. So this is totally new. I think though I think it provides a better entry point for people being, able to actually try an electric vehicle and kind of get into that space. I personally am, I'll be car shopping soon. I definitely am looking towards a complete, electric vehicle for numerous reasons. But I think it's an interesting business model. What do you think?
Well, so I am first and foremost, it excites me because it gives you, once again, options.
Right.
I'm all about options when it comes to life. Once again, too, it's an electric vehicle, and Def Jeff has chimed in and said, yes, he's ready to rock and roll and making that transition over from gasoline to electric. So we've got the poll still up. So make sure y'all tap on Yep or Pepper, or not so much if y'all are ready to move over to an electric vehicle. But what really excites me about the subscription model is the idea that you're not tied to this vehicle.
Right.
And if something happens financially to you, then you're not stuck in a situation where you've got a negative impact on your credit because the vehicle can be returned more than likely. And let me just walk it all the way out from what I'm thinking. All these vehicles that are electric are being built with, advanced computer everything,
right,
from steering and navigation to autopilot to just your display and your heads-up situation. This car is going to be running Android. I'm pretty sure there's going to be autonomous features in here. I'm pretty sure if it's a subscription-based model, they're going to have a way for the vehicle to return itself if need be.
Yes.
Or that will be a rollout at some point. I say all that to say, I think it could be positive for people who are adverse on the credit side.
Right.
And I think it opens up an opportunity for those who may be in lesser circumstances and maybe they only need a vehicle for several weeks, which then competes against the rental market. So
absolutely,
it's a whole
because
nother animal.
They've already said, it's gonna feature a sell as a key situation where these programs like I was in LA a few months ago. They have a ride sharing program where you can rent cars. They're located in different spots. You find
like
one that's Zipcar or something like that. You find one that's closest to you. You can, so it provides a source of income in that sense, because you can then sign up for one of these rent car situations. You can unlock the key, give people access to the car from afar. Even something like getting your groceries delivered. You're in the parks in the parking lot of your job. You can unlock the car there. They can place deliveries in there, be done with it. So I think it opens up a lot of opportunity, like you said. And it's like, I can think of numerous situations. Maybe somebody that's is a military family. They move from place to place a lot. They might be like, okay, well, we need a car while we're here. Now we're going overseas. We don't necessarily need that car. There's a lot of different scenarios where a subscription based model would be
It's freedom.
Yeah, it is. It's freedom for a lot of people.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And it looks like not just this vehicle. And Monique mentions in Facebook Live right now, she says that she needs extra large space. And which is understandable, Monique. You know, you may need that space. And speaking of needing space, there's a Polestar 3 coming out, which is going to be a performance SUV.
Right.
So not just this mid-size sedan option, but you are going to have an SUV option that comes down the pipe. So, hey, you know, these are options. Def Jeff on the flip side says, I'm not good with the subscription-based model aspect, but if I buy, I'm buying to own it. And I can understand the need for ownership as well, right? You know, to have tangible assets that aren't just liabilities, even though vehicles depreciate over time.
Yeah, I just think for you know, as it's been, you know, the vehicle market and as of most markets have been kind of you know, for those who aren't in that situation where they can do that.
Yeah.
I think it, you know, allows you to you know, have the freedom of transportation, and you know, so I think just, you like you said, choices, you know, that's huge.
Yeah, choices
people
make champions or something like that. I heard it somewhere. I don't know. But speaking of choices and making champions, you've got a choice to get some exclusive content, and that's right here at the Sphere from our exclusive team. So if you're looking for exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else, look no further than our own Sphere exclusives found only on Patreon. We've got some behind-the-scenes shots happening daily at the Sphere Podcast Studios, where each of our shows are curating episodes that are only delivered to our Patreon subscribers. Plus, we deliver the show live from start to finish in our Discord server that's exclusive to that same Patreon family. So guess what, folks? You've got to sign up today. And I think Def Jeff has signed up, and some other people right now that's watching this Facebook Live. Monique's one of our subscribers. Sign up today over at thesphere.tv/Patreon to join one of our $2, $5, or $8 tiers, and you get access to exclusive content that's only found right here at the Sphere. And of course, this Sphere family, we sign up, Ari and I are subscribers.
Yes.
We want our exclusive content because guess what? It's not just from Technocrats. It's from all the shows on our network. They're sewing into Patreon to give y'all content that you will not get on the podcast and other places. You're not even going to get that on Discord, even though Discord's a higher tier. So you've got to be in one of those tiers to grab that content because it's not live, right? So it's pocketed just for us. Let's wrap up that poll real quick, and I'd love to see how other people have felt about this. If people are ready to move over to electric vehicles away from gasoline, or if y'all still want to get oil changes, belts, hoses, and have to deal with spark plugs and all that other stuff. I want to know how they feel about that one, because once you get away from that, it's hard to go back.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
that's why I'm looking hard at it. I'm like,
Yeah, the prices just need to be right, and that was the only thing I'll probably say is a miss on this Polestar. You coming out at $68K, you can really start hitting people at 30, 40K.
Yeah.
Like right on the nose. I think you're going to get a better buy-in.
Huge.
It looks like 100% of people say that they are ready to rock and roll and switch, and that's what's up. Shout out to our technocrats out there. Let's pivot into the news.
Let's do it.
So on the news aspects of things, looks like we're going to be having some high times.
Yes, we are.
When we're talking about beer and we're talking about marijuana and little cannabinoids.
Yes.
What's going on with this,
Ari?
About
this article.
What's happening here?
So, researchers and synthetic biologists at UC Berkeley have discovered a way to modify brewer's yeast to produce a range of weed, y'all. So they are essentially able to make weed with generally the same process that they use to brew beer or make wine, and It's could be a game changer. So essentially, what it does is they took yeast and they put it in the gene that produces THC and CBD, and they found that they were able to produce extremely high quality weed at a reasonable price and in huge amounts. So droughts be gone, I guess.
Yeah.
So some of the issues right now is that it helps well, both as a recreational consumer, but also in the research field, because it's hard right now for researchers to get their hands on large quantities of weed to be able to really do research. And in this way, they're able to produce weed in a day or two, as opposed to waiting for a full cycle of a plant flower to grow. So, it's more sustainable, because actually all growing green ain't very green.
Come on.
It's not. And it showed promise in that they have tested it in helping to make like anti-malaria medicines, and they've successfully done that. And in doing so with the yeast, they were able to bring down the cost of it, make it more widely available to people, and regulate the market. So what are your thoughts?
So let me just say this. The first thing that popped in my mind is the fact that if you're fermenting yeast to create a cannabinoid, whatever it's called. Cannabinoid, thank you. There's nothing illegal about that.
Right.
Like, that's all 50 states. And I would have to go back and look at a Schedule A of drug, whatever.
Where are my lawyer friends at?
Exactly,
Where are my
right?
attorney friends at right now?
To confirm, but marijuana as a plant is illegal in certain states,
right?
But cannabinoids, I don't believe, are necessarily illegal across all states.
CBD is not.
Yeah,
because CBD is like more the relaxing quality, and there's over 100 different cannabinoids. Like,
exactly.
In weed, but generally the ones that have become that are illegal is THC.
Yeah.
But that THC is not the only type of cannabinoid that weed produces. So
if you can now have a feeling of calmness,
right,
added from something totally different that's been genetically manipulated through yeast. It's like the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm thinking financially, like this could be a lucrative industry.
Very
I can
much.
see this becoming something that's great, especially for somebody who's making it from a perspective of fermentation with beer.
Right.
So this becomes something that you drink. Now this starts to tackle the alcohol business. Like it's
a game changer.
Yeah.
Hugely. Like, can you imagine like big weed breweries, like essentially like we have, we've got some pretty big breweries here in Houston, like a Carbach, of weed,
like this becomes their cannabinoid, Carbach cannabinoid.
Exactly. And they said it's, super high quality. It makes large scale plant cultivation, like the need for that non-existent. So
which lowers your cost, your overhead, your AC or HVAC costs. Like everything changes when you grow at that scale. And it's no pun intended, but it's scalable.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting high tech.
You better say that. Okay, we getting high on the high tech side. But yeah, we want to know what you all think. Facebook Live, how do y'all feel about this? Y'all down with the genetic modification of yeast to create cannabinoids, which will then give you some feeling of what your standard marijuana does make you feel like, but on the more CBD side versus THC side? Let us know how you feel. Hit us up. Shoot us an email, technocrats@thesphere.tv, or hit across any social media platform @thesphere.tv. We want to know how you feel about that. But guess what, folks? We can't give y'all all the nuts and bolts of Technocrats. We got a full show ahead of us. I didn't close my runner show, so I'm going to have to go off the top of my head. I know we're going to talk about, I think I'm going to have this conversation about Fortnite if we got time. We're going to drop into some other stuff that I put on there. I don't even remember. I put something else on there.
Yeah,
it'll come in a minute.
Foldable phone.
There it is. We're going to talk. I can't do this
Teamwork
without her.
makes the dream work.
We're going to talk about these new foldable phones and whether or not Apple has missed a boat on this, because we need to have this conversation. But you gotta subscribe to get the rest of this. So head over to sphere.tv/Technocrats. We got a few options for you. You can find us right there on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Google Play or Google Podcasts, because they're changing their names. Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeart. We're in everywhere. Anywhere you can find a podcast, we can be found via your favorite podcast apps. And of course, share it out with your family and friends. Leave us some constructive criticism over at Apple Podcasts. Hit the stars. Write some comments about the show. That helps us in ranking. So that's important to us. And of course, last but not least, sow a seed. Head over to sphere.tv/donate, and we got a couple of options. And thank you to those who have done single donations. We appreciate you all. And of course, on the Patreon side, thank you to all our Patreon folks that are getting our Sphere exclusives and have unlimited access. Some people hop off Facebook Live and hop over into our channel so that they can dive deep into the content. But thank y'all so much for supporting us via Patreon. We truly appreciate it. And remember, folks, you got to subscribe right here at the Sphere. So let's keep this party rolling. Yes, that's me. That's me. And let's dive into this conversation. I want to hit this foldable phone piece really quickly because we're fresh out of Barcelona.
Right.
The 5G was big at the Mobile World Conference every year. For those that are tuned in, and shout out to those. Mish says CBD is the truth. You are right. Mish, you little high devil. You are right. But we have this conference over in Barcelona every year, Mobile World Conference. That's the newest of the new smartphones, the gadgets, the tippity top of what you can expect to come down the pipe. And you see some gimmicks there, and you see things that are non-gimmicky. I remember a great modular phone that I once wanted. Basically, you could pick the camera, speaker, and it all connected like to a circuit board on the back of the phone, so you could reconfigure your phone.
That sounds fun.
With drop-in modules or chips and add new feature sets on the fly to your phone. Even the front screen of it could come off, and you could upgrade the screen if you needed to. It never came to fruition. So yeah, I was
a sad day.
Yeah, quite sad. I was actually looking forward to that. But I say that to say one of the biggest things that have come down the pipe for this World Mobile Conference is 5G, which we kind of talked about a little bit, and we're going to continue to have that 5G conversation because I think that's vastly important for what's coming down the pipe in the future. Plus, there's some other stuff that I want to talk about in VR stuff. We'll probably pivot that to next week. But past that, the other piece of this conversation is this new foldable phone craze. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring this to the table is because Apple has been, how shall I say?
Silent?
Yeah, very lackadaisical for the last couple of years when it comes to new phone features that really, why is your screen cracked so much? That really that just messed me up. That really stand out, right? So we've seen them, start this whole smartphone craze. Let's just give it to them. There were other companies in Europe. Kia was one of them that was doing big things. But Apple really ushered in the smartphone craze, ushered in the app craze, new, bigger phones, faster phones, and then nothing. No, from the outside of removing the home button, which was just okay.
And the earphone jack.
Yeah, and the headphone jack. Started removing stuff.
Right.
There's been no true innovation.
Yeah.
Now we're here at the age of foldable phones. We talked about the Royale or the Royale that came out. I think Royale with cheese. That's how I feel about it every time I see the phone. And then Samsung dropped a note on us with their, no pun intended, with their foldable device, right? And it was a prototype looking thing, and eventually they had the full-fledged version of it. Then Huawei hopped into the game. And for those on the Android side, y'all know Huawei. For those that are pure Android users, Huawei has been pushing the gambit, especially overseas, for a very long time. And they are one of the biggest, if not largest competitors of Apple when it comes to smartphones over in China. They've got a new Mate X, and it's foldable like crazy. Let's take a look at this. And we've got a video from their site that I want to make sure we get some footage of. But we're basically taking these two big phones, and these are over $1,000 phones. We're talking $1,500 phones, but from 7.3-inch screens that are folding down, 6.6-inch screens that are still in a jumbo size, but able to fold up. So you're talking about taking a device that's from tablet size and moving it down to a phone form factor, but still we're talking phablet phone, meaning something that's above 6 inches. Now, the biggest thing for me between these two phones is probably how they bend.
Me too.
Yeah. So your Samsung phone has this hinge-like sandwich I don't want to call it sandwich spread, but it looks like what the Microsoft Surface Book, how it folds with this bendable hinge.
Right.
And obviously that is a part of how you get this smaller version of your device. Whereas when you open it up, boom, now you've got this tablet, so to speak, to utilize. On the flip side, and I think, and obviously there are big pieces on both sides of the gambit, and for those that are watching, you can see this right now. When you look at the Huawei device, it has pieces that fold internally back to the device so that now the bend feels and looks more natural with all your components on one side. And these components that we're talking about are your USB-C connectivity, all your cameras, the part of the battery for the phone, everything sits on that other side. So it has more of a how shall I say, a dual use in this foldable space, because now you've got optics on the other side,
Right.
that you can flip around and still utilize. We can dive deep into the Snapdragon processors, the amount of memory, the storage, and all those things. But first and foremost, how do you feel about the way this phone looks? Is this something that you would use?
I mean, yeah, I could see, I'm about to take quite a long trip next week. I could see me, instead of having to bring a phone and a tablet, this being good for that kind of situation. I honestly feel like this has been more of like an industry driven product than a consumer kind of demanded product,
I
because
agree.
I just don't hear the giant rallying call for, foldable phones, nor do I know too many people who are willing to pay, upwards of $1,500 for one, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I definitely think Huawei's is more kind of, I like the way it's more flush. Like it doesn't have that hinge, like you said. It kind of just seems like a more intuitive fold design to me. So I would probably go with that version if I were going to get one. But I don't know that it's something that I'll be like running out to get right away. What about you?
So if I could be honest with you, if this phone had a better price point, if it was $1,000, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I'd buy the Mate X, simply because
Really?
of if that phone that he has in his hand right now, for those that are watching the video version of this podcast, you can actually see some of this footage. That phone to me is not too far off from a thickness of my current phone, because I'm looking at how big the screen is, and in a doubled situation, I would be just as happy with that device as I think I am with mine,
Right.
even using it as a 6.6 or opening up as a tablet. So I would be excited. Plus, it's just something new.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's super cool. I think where it's gonna get most people is the price point of it.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, I mean, if it were like, people were freaking out when the new iPhones were coming out
At over $1,000.
$1,000, but this is like, I mean, some of these, double that. It's
Yeah.
I
not paying
don't
$2,000.
see myself paying $2,000 for a foldable phone. I'm just not doing it. But yeah, if it were
No.
closer to $1,000, I'd be on it.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. But I like the idea of something new. And more so than just what these two devices or three devices offer. And at some point, obviously, Apple may hop on the bandwagon. Who knows?
Right.
But more than just that, I think it opens up the door of opportunity for new growth and new design aspects, for people to stop thinking of just this old school candy bar style phone,
Right.
but give us something a little bit different. And you're spot on. This is industry market driven, not consumer driven. But I think sometimes consumers can be complacent. And we will take whatever you give us. And how long have we been dealing with the fact that I got to carry a phone and a tablet and a laptop? I have to carry these things, or do I?
Right.
And we're not demanding to not pay $800 for a phone, $700 for a tablet, $1,300 for a laptop. So we didn't spend $3,000. We're
Right.
not demanding a price cut. But should we?
That's very true. I mean, how long have we been accepting pretty much the same iPhone?
I don't understand why people have bought anything past the 8.
Like, I've got an 8S, or I
Yeah.
think. Like, I'm not
I can't even let go of my old iPad. It still works.
Yeah, it's just like, why? So I think definitely though, we get as a public, we do get complacent. We're cool with the status quo, and it's like, okay, I just know I'm gonna have to carry around these 3 devices. But like you said, what if we don't? And again, if I got back to a point where, like when I was working at Square and I was in a different city or a different country every couple days, I think I could justify maybe more than buying one of these, because it saves, like, to me, the need to not have to carry as many devices is worth it to me.
Sure.
But I think it's in the beginning, at least, it's going to be for a very specific type of consumer, for sure.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. We shall see, folks.
Yes, we shall see. Yes, we shall. So, this portion of the show, ladies and gentlemen, is sponsored by True Digital. You're online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. True Digital Media Consulting can help with website development, online ads, your business reputation, and organic growth on search engines. Give us a call today to discuss a customized strategy for your business at area code 832-934-4436, or send us an email at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Sphere to receive a free 30-minute strategy consultation.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Shout out to True Digital.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So last but not least on the plate today,
Gonna get into a little Fortnite.
Of course, of course. We got to switch gears over into our Gamers Wanted.
Oh, I like that.
It's like the B-roll of the song. It's like the B-side version
really
of the
is.
Mario track. Let's talk. This is really a follow-up, folks, because we want to make sure we have this conversation and keep this abreast, because it keeps happening.
Yes.
Fortnite, it got sued again. Let's take a look at this. So it looks like this time former Maryland basketball players have decided to sue Fortnite because they did a Running Man dance on Ellen DeGeneres' show a few years back, garnered millions of views on Instagram, which obviously got them on the show, doing stuff in their locker rooms for their people. It became a nationwide craze, and then guess what? It showed up in this video game that has made multi-millions of dollars. And here we are with them. There have been other hip-hop artists and other people who have filed lawsuits against the creators of Fortnite simply because of copyright infringement from their perspective, or some type of use of likeness and no royalties being paid. The problem, though, is that I don't remember old dude's name off Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who played Carlton.
Rivera.
Alfonso tried to get a copyright on the dance himself, but he couldn't. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office said that, guess what, folks? You can't patent a dance move. You just can't do it according to them. And who knows why, or whatever the case is. But here we are. And for those that are watching, you get to see this nationwide craze for everybody who wants to do this Running Man dance. And like I said, it ended up in a video game, which makes sense because that's just how things work in today's social media. But when you see these football players doing this and these baseball players, it looks just like Fortnite.
No, it definitely does.
Like, this is the crazy stuff that they do on this game.
And they're coming out with a new version.
Well, yeah, you got battles. You got season 8 that drops pretty soon. I think the updates have already started pushing. But I don't think this lawsuit's going to go anywhere. Personally, what do you think? No,
I don't either. I mean, what is this, lawsuit number 3 or 4
something like
something, and they're still doing
that
it.
That
we've heard of, right?
Yeah.
And they're still doing it. I mean, like you said, if you can, I mean, it kind of stops with the patent situation. Like, if you can't patent or copyright a dance, then I mean, you really just legally can't stop them from doing it. I mean, is it ethically right for them to use it and not pay the people who created it, and knowing that they're making millions of dollars off of it? No, not in my opinion. But
agreed.
Legally, is it wrong? I mean, ultimately, in the eyes of most corporations, that's really all that matters. I mean, you hope they'll be ethical, but if they're not doing anything that's breaking the law, I don't see where what they can do about it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
maybe try to flip it and have their own fame about their just in regard to being the people that created the Fortnite dance. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's such a built-in fabric. Like I don't play it, but I know so many people that do, and I know that the dancing and the skins and all that, it's such a huge part of the game.
It really is.
That I don't foresee them being like, oh no, you're right, this is wrong. We're not gonna do this anymore. I mean, but at the same time, they can afford to throw a few coins. Their way.
You would think so. These guys are having so much fun doing these dance moves. And it's just I saw a meme the other day that said Ellen's like the cool teacher with all the bad kids in her class.
Yeah, that is exactly what it looks like, right?
And they just having a good time,
It looks fun.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Fortnite. Alfonso and Misha says over in our Discord on our part of our Patreon family, Alfonso got the inspiration Carlton dance from copying someone else,
interesting,
which makes sense. So hey, it continues to happen. So here we are, folks.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about this Fortnite situation. Hit us up somewhere at the Sphere TV. Use that hashtag Technocrats, and we will definitely get back with you.
Yes, sir. This portion of the show is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowerment movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop dope gear at kogpassion.com. That's KOGpassion.com and use coupon code DOPE for 10% off exclusive Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast.
Biggity fast.
Fast.
Fast. Yeah. But guess what, folks? That's some more. That's it. That's all we got. We got no more content for you. We got some content for our Sphere exclusive family. We're going to talk about Bang. And for those on the financial side of things, the big five in tech have been named as FANG. That's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. We're going to have a series for our Patreon subscribers, people who are getting that Sphere exclusive content, and just kind of break down where they stand at today, how we feel about them. So if you want to get that, want to jump in on these conversations, make sure you hop on the Patreon side so you can get that content, folks. But until then, Ari, where can the good people reach you at?
You can find me on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram at dishwithari or at arianamckinney.com.
That's what's up. And, of course, you can find me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at G Hawkins with a Z. That's G Hawkins with a Z. Any questions about what we do here at the show, or shoot us an email. Technocrats at thesphere.tv. We will definitely get back with you. And we will see y'all next time, folks.
See you next
Take
week.
care.